Welcome to A Canadian Investing in the U.S., a podcast and YouTube channel focused on Canadians buying real estate with host Glen Sutherland.
Welcome to a new episode of A Canadian Investing in the U.S. with Glen Sutherland. This week, my guest is Angelina Cannelli. Angelina, if you want to start off by giving everybody a bit of an introduction to yourself.
Yeah, sure. So hi everyone. My name is Angelina Cannelli. I'm the CEO and founder of ReadAI. What ReadAI does, it's a company, it's a real estate driven solution company that helps all the institutional investors, property managers, people just like you, Glenn, that are involved in investment within real estate. Partner as well within the real estate. And what we do really, we look at problems that are within the space, the real estate space, and trying to find AI-driven solutions. My idea started with the fact that I like to, because of my background, I have a mixed background, really, banking, consultancy, tech, and my real hobby is real estate. I'm an investor myself. Yeah. I've invested across the United States, all the way from Illinois to Florida. And I'm planning to expand into more of an international landscape, probably Dubai in a couple of years. And so I combine my passion with my expertise and I put something together, which I feel is just wonderful.
That's awesome. And so you mentioned you're solving problems. Like what problems have you solved so far with this AI? What does the software do or AI do? Or maybe even tell me what it is. Is it like a bot? Is it a software or is it a GPT?
So Glenn, just like you do, I interview people. Yeah. And so I have my own podcast. And what I did notice, I noticed a pattern. I noticed all these real estate investors, even like managing directors and people within the real estate space complaining about the same thing. And so with that, something came up to my mind. I'm like, all right, so if this is a real problem, we should find a solution for that. And one of the people that enlightened me to come up with my app, which is called Mondo, and it's a property management on autopilot. It's actually you, Glenn. And so thank you so much. This is the main reason I wanted to be here today, to thank you in front of your audience, because you did mention back in the days that, what if I had a property management on autopilot and I don't have to worry about anything? The time that you had to travel, to the site properties because there was like property managers inflating bills and turned out to be real. And so little by little I realized that it's actually a commonality. A lot of people that came to my show start saying exactly the same thing. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe we can find a solution to that. So you would think it is nothing new because there's so many apps out there, Appfolio, Yardi, many other tools out there available for you. But there's one thing that nobody has. Nobody has the beginning to the end, the final solution where you don't have to be involved at all. And if you do want to see your number, you see in real time, in a very easy to read dashboard, which is on your phone. And for you as a property manager, for you as a property owner, for you as a tenant, and you don't have to worry about anything. And everything is done for you. Everything is recorded for you. And everything is actually checked in real time. Flag, green flag, red flag. And so that's where I came from. This is how I came to solve one of the main problems that we have in 2026 and probably we had in 2025.
I think you might have said it there, but could you define exactly what the difference is between, like, you said Appfolio or Buildium or any of those Yardi or the softwares?
Each of them take care of one specific part of the property management process, but none of them takes care of the beginning to the end, the full experience, the full client experience, where you don't want to take care of financials. So you don't want to go deeper. You don't even want to dive deep into that because you don't want to be seeing like heavy data on a daily basis. All you want is just something simple, something that can help you get there. For instance, you're a tenant, you have a broken pipe, and now you need to call either your landlord or the property manager, whoever it is, and they never get back to you in time. Or if they do, it's a hit or miss. And so now what you really have is just like an assistant that you speak to over the phone or a chatbot that tells you, first of all, helps you out to fix the problem yourself. And then it realizes the sense of urgency and then, sends you somebody over, books, finds out what time are you available, gets a vendor, and sources the most appropriate vendor, even price-wise, and then send it over to you. And so the problem is solved. But aside from that, you can also request for like guest parking. You can also give a one-time code to the maid that is coming over to clean your property. You can do everything to your phone. The prime person is coming over to deliver. You can actually see on your phone with the little camera as if it was a ring. Everything is in just one place, easy peasy. And then when it comes to you as a property owner, let's say you own 3 units in the same building, what you have actually is you have your screen, you have you can see your units, you can see if your tenants are financial, if the tenants have paid in time or not, the HOA due to the actual units that you own, and everything is very easily readable at glance, so you don't have to go deep into many details, although it's backed up by a very strong software. So if you want to go into deep, you can dive in. And it prepares all your P&L, it prepares all your documentation that you need at the end of the year. It saves all your I'll tell you permits that you need to have there, because sometimes we all went through that moment where you have to show your permits and you can find that piece of paper. Everything is stored there for you. So everything is just right there. Easy access, easy to look at. And then there's a property management view where the property manager sees everything, sees all the expenses of the building or of the units, depending really if it's an HOA or not, where you have everything linked into so everything is linked straight into your bank details, so you don't have to make any check payments or anything. Everything is automatic on autopilot, right? Then you have all the building issues, all in there. And the beautiful thing about it, you also have a tenant view where you screen the incoming tenants. And so instead of taking months, the app really does that in a few times, in no time. I would say that in days you can actually approve a tenant that comes into the building or into the unit. So that's what it really does, from beginning to the end. It can also source pre-qualified tenants to have a vacant unit that a vacant filled out with new people. But that's an add-on, really. I think what I'm doing, focusing more on operational side, which is the biggest pain point that everybody has, put out there when I'm interviewing.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so the one thing you said near the start of that was that, a tenant can call in and give a problem, get some, advice from the bot about what they should do to replace it. And then if it needs to, it can make the judgment call in order to, call a plumber or whoever. So in my head, would this be able to replace having a property manager?
Yes, 100%. And because as I say, the whole purpose of this is being a property management tool on autopilot. What it does also, everything is recorded. So I'm going to give you a scenario.
Yeah.
In the building, right? You have the board members, right? That they want to get rid of the property manager, like it's happening, as I speak in my own building. And so this is what we are doing.
They're expensive.
And not only is it's expensive when they actually inflated. We realized this year proposed budget was inflated by 35%. We found out that there's been a third ask for a roof replacement, and altogether it's sum up of almost $500,000. I did a little bit of digging, and I realized that we actually have 10 years warranty on a roof repair that was done 3 years ago. So why are we even spending an extra $139,000 to the 360 that we spent 3 years ago, and the 69 repairs that we did 2 years ago?
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. And so if you entered that in, I've trained some bots before, they'd understand that, you have warranty, what it is, and they'd look that up first before placing the call or placing it with the same company that did the roofing. Are you looking to invest in the US? Are you looking for a coaching program that will actually save you money and help you avoid mistakes? My students get discounts on lawyers, attorneys. If you're looking to get an E2 visa, if you're looking for certain software, if you're looking to even speak with CPAs, I have discounts for all these things. If you want to just get on a quick phone call and we can discuss if it's a fit for you, 10-minute phone call, go to glensutherland.com or at CanadianInvestingInTheUSA.com and book a call.
So that's what's happening. So on the back end, what people don't see, we have a team of experts, okay, where, and clearly this is where the differentiation comes. let's say you have a roof repair to do. We have a vendor system where it's white gloves. And what it does, this vendor systems provides you with for instance, the roofer that needed to fix your roof, they take care of the end-to-end process from asking to the permit to actually make it happen and to auditing everything, making sure that everything is in compliance and it's well done, documented everything. The one thing that we do, we ensure that the prices are going to be at least 20% lower than the market rate, and in some cases, even 40%. For instance, we have noted that in California, we managed to lower the price by 40%. However, when it comes to charging, we do charge our percentage on top of each invoice, So let's say for a white glove, it would be 13%. For a normal day-to-day thing is 6%. But if you're already saving 20% minus 6, you're still making up to that amount of money. And the one thing that is guaranteed is transparency. You don't have to believe or trust whether you want it or not. Your property manager, you actually can see the numbers. The beauty of the app is that you can be a unit owner and you still have access to everything that is happening in the building, meaning how much water bill is, how much is the electricity bill. Nothing is hidden anymore. You have access because you have the right to know. You are, a shareholder of that building. And so that's one beauty of it. The other one is the HOA view, the HOA owner view, which obviously all the property owners have access to that, where every quarter where the board and then the unit owners reunite, to talk about the building issues, everything gets recorded to Zoom, and there is an AI note taker that records the meeting and also has all the minutes that they get feed, that the minutes get fed into the app. And so you have all the minutes and recorded for each and every meeting. So the 4 meetings that you usually would have during the year. You have the voting also recorded. You have everything recorded about the building as well as the financials. But obviously, you're not going to have the access to the sensitive data, so the bank account details and all of that. But you're going to have access to the high level spending of the building, so the expenses and all the all the instances where we have to call vendors and so forth. Now, if for any chance the board decided just to call an outside vendor, we have an AI invoice analyzer that will tell you in real time whether the bill is inflated or not, because it's not necessarily the property manager taking advantage. It could also be a vendor trying to shoot for 20% more or 30% more. And this is where you can get back to them and say, no, that's not correct. And so everything is really screwed out. We have also architectural requests. Area, we have everything planned out in one easy to read view.
I love it. You mentioned one thing with there's different costs for white glove versus normal sort of maintenance. What's the difference between white glove and normal maintenance?
White glove, you have actually a team of property manager, property coordinator, and auditor. Everybody's going to be involved in the process of making that happen. So more accurate, more specific, and they will take care from beginning to the end of everything that has to do with a major repair. Let's say maybe it's architectural repair, maybe it's a major job where you don't just want to have a handyman or whoever it is. You need a team of experts to be able to find the right person for you to be able to handle a big job like a roof repair.
That makes sense. Kind of like having a project manager in the middle of the projects, which obviously going to have a cost. Right. That makes a lot of sense. The one thing I was thinking about, like when you're setting this all up off the start, is there a whole process of training the bot or like giving them the prompts or what's needed for your company or anything or does it just sort of know all this stuff off the start?
Well, clearly there is a setup fee to start the whole process. The other thing you have to take into consideration is the history of the building. Let's say it's a 1955 buildings and it has documents from then until now. We need to be able to have a server that store all that data. We need to have all the historical data and everything that happened up to that point. So the actual system gather and absorb everything that has already happened in the past. Okay. And so then we have our software that it's also linked to our vendor management software, and they read each other and they also feed off of each other according to historical data and also instances happening as we go. And they can be getting better and better. However, they do have already like knowledge prior to, for other buildings. So it's something that is not just built like from one day to the other. It comes with the knowledge in place. In fact, one point that you did make back in the day, how can the bot realize whether it's a broken pipe? Do you need a maintenance person? Do you need a plumber? The bot is trained to understand, to assess whether you need a plumber or a maintenance specialist, and the bot is even trained to help you fix it, and even trained to understand whether you're an elderly person that needs help and to ask for somebody else to help you, or just help you figure out that process or problem that you have.
That makes sense, because even like a human, if they were listening to someone placing a maintenance call, they're gonna pick up on things that they're not able to do it, or they aren't willing to
Exactly.
do it, and if they're not willing to help, then yeah, probably a maintenance person will at least be the first line to see if they go before it's not flooding, it's not an emergency. Let's send a maintenance
Exactly.
guy and see if it's something, which it's just rational thought, which the AI is getting so good at these days. It's
Yes, exactly. And then, it feeds up like off of every real instance, it learns, the more it goes, the more it learns of anything that's happening in the building. So specific to that, your customers in that building. And Glenn, if that were to be you, for instance, you can be in Canada checking everything from your dashboard.
yeah.
And so that's the beauty of it. And there's a lot of people just in your situation that will love that.
I love it. Was there anything I should have asked you about the AI or the Mondo that I didn't bring up?
I know, I think it's pretty, what we spoke about is really what it is. Clearly, if people are interested, they can look it up. It's in my website, and if they have more questions, they can reach out directly to me. But yeah, I really, even in the past, prior to my current venture, every time I would go like on a trading floor, I work at Deutsche Bank, like the biggest trading floor in Europe. I worked there like in many, many other big institutions. I'm very good at spotting, like I'm looking at the situation, spotting the problem, finding the solutions. And so this is why I applied my knowledge, my second skin of fixing problems to just fix this real problem as it happens.
Love it. So before I let you go, if you just want to give the website or how do they, if someone's like, hey, this sounds interesting, I'd like to learn more about it, where do they go? Where do they learn more about this product?
Oh, they can go to REIT, which is REIT-AI.com. That's my website.
Mhm.
Under my core models, they will find the Mondo app. There is a live demo that they can look at it, or they can register and actually play around. The one thing very important to bear in mind is if you were to register and you adopt a profile as a tenant, you won't be able to see any other dashboards, because clearly the tenant only can have the tenant view
Right.
for security reason.
Security, yeah.
And usually probably property manager and property owners are the one that have all the views. Now, if you were to actually adopt and buy, the service, so the actual app and deploy it, you will have a super admin view. But yeah, that is explained both in the website, and then we also have a video that explains step by step, which we usually send it directly to our customers or prospect.
Awesome. Well, Angelina, that was excellent. I think you're gonna have some people that are interested in this. I really appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Glenn. Appreciate it.
That was a nice video. Bye.